Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hi, I'm Shon Gables inside the Atlanta News First Plus studio in the heart of Atlanta. It is Tuesday, August the 27th. I hope you are staying cool inside somewhere and just relaxing because it is hot and it is going to get hotter. We have two first alerts coming up for this week, and our first alert meteorologist Patrick Pete is going to be joining us shortly to kind of explain how long this heat wave is going to last in Atlanta. We have a lot of stories to cover today, so let me get straight to that and help you out here. Again, like I said, I'm Shon Gables inside our Atlanta News First studio. We have a lot that we're covering for Atlanta News First at 11, also on Peachtree TV at 10, and on WPGA and Macon. So let's get to these headlines. The biggest story that we're covering right now, and this story is breaking, and it's happening in Buckhead. It's Atlanta police are investigating an apparent murder-suicide at a condominium complex. It happened on Lakeside Drive near Grandview at Buckhead Heights. Police say they have found two people with gunshot wounds and believe one of the victims shot the other victim before shooting themselves. Again, this is a murder-suicide. There is no threat to the public, but obviously bringing a lot of concern for those who lived in this apartment complex, this condominium complex in Buckhead. We're going to have more on that story tonight at 11. Tori Cooper is on that now. She spoke with one of the victims' families, and she's going to have an update for us on that story. Other story that we're following, and this one is just heartbreaking. And this involves Delta
I'm Chelsea
Airlines.
Beinfor at the Delta Airlines technical operation.
Let me just get to it right here. We sort of had Chelsea Beinfor is going to be covering the story. She's going to get to her in just a second. But two Delta workers at the airport have died. A third one is seriously injured after a tire explosion at Delta Airlines maintenance facility. Chelsea Beinfor joins us now with more on this story.
I'm Chelsea Beinfor at the Delta Airlines Technical Operations Center. This is where two Delta employees died this morning following a tire explosion. Those victims are 58-year-old Mirko Marweg and 37-year-old Luis Alderando. The Atlanta Fire and Rescue Department responded here around 5 a.m. and saw three Delta employees lying on the floor. We know two men died there on the scene. Another person was treated for heavy bleeding and taken by ambulance to Grady Hospital. Authorities have not released the name of the third Delta employee injured, but in a statement, Delta Airlines says they are heartbroken and offering support to the families involved and all of their employees.
And what I want to do is, we did speak with the family. They are responding to us tonight, and this is just a couple of things that we got from the family. And again, this is such a heartbreaking story, and our hearts go out to the members of the family who lost their loved ones. Again, two Delta employees were killed. Another one was seriously hurt. Atlanta News First did reach out to the families of those victims, and 58-year-old Mirko Marweg's son released a statement to Atlanta News First saying, "My father loved his job. He worked for Delta for several years." Also, I have a mistake there with the Atlanta Dream House. Forgive me for that. That was my mistake there. He also said, "We are devastated and we need our space to grieve." Atlanta News First, Tori Cooper, she's working on this story too. She's been doing double duty today. She's going to continue our coverage on the Delta workplace tire explosion. Tori did speak with one of the victims' families. She'll provide more on that story and just the gut-wrenching just the emotions and everything this family is going through after losing one of their loved ones in a workplace accident. We'll get more on that story tonight on Atlanta News First at 11. And let's get to some of the other top stories that we're following. And this one is the Atlanta being thrust back into the political spotlight this week. The Peach State is a battleground state. And Vice President Kamala Harris, she is returning. Let me get this to play out there for you. Here we go. We saw Harris and Governor Walz as they accepted their Democratic nomination as president and vice president to run in the election in November. Well, they are returning to the battleground state of Georgia. Vice President Kamala Harris is returning to place an energized focus on Georgia voters outside of Atlanta. And Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon has more.
Vice President Kamala Harris has made almost a dozen trips to Atlanta since entering the White House, 6 of them this year alone. But in order to win in 2024, she'll have to get voters outside of the city. I'm Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon from Midtown. And that's exactly what Harris is trying to do this week. She and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are embarking on a bus tour of middle and southern Georgia tomorrow and Thursday. Some of the areas they're going to went 80% or higher for Trump back in 2020, and political experts tell us if Harris wants to win in November, she'll have to at least chip away some of those voters and keep the good numbers she and Joe Biden saw in metro Atlanta in 2020. That bus tour ends with a rally in Savannah on Thursday.
Remember, Atlanta News First is your election source. Download our app for information on everything you need to know before you cast your ballot in November. And make sure you join myself, Shon Gables, and Blair Miller tonight at 11. Our team of Atlanta News First reporters are covering other big stories that will affect you. And tonight, Bridget Spencer is speaking with family members of the woman killed in southeast Atlanta. She was allegedly killed by the murder suspect in the officer-involved shooting that we've been covering in Henry County. We'll have an update on that. And Madeline Montgomery is at the Decatur Safe Streets meeting. They're seeking solutions to make Decatur streets much, much safer. So don't forget to join us, not only on Atlanta News First, but join our team on Peachtree TV at 10 and our Macon station, WPGA. I'm going to just give us another beautiful view of the skyline here in Atlanta. It is beautiful, and my buddy Patrick Pete, he has been hard at work in the First Alert Forecast Center. Boy, oh boy, do we have some heat. It is roasting out there. I don't know if I want to do my dinner walk, Patrick. Pete?
It is gorgeous out there.
It is. Am I in your way?
You are.
Okay, well,
It's okay.
let me move on out the way. I was going to set things up for you because, this is a global audience, so we want to make sure that they're prepared.
Okay.
So-
Let them know.
Let them know. No one does it better than Patrick Pete, folks.
I'm trying.
Oh, gosh, Patrick, what did I do
I got
here?
you. I got you.
You know what? I'm going to get off of that and let you take over. Let's go back
Move.
to this skyline shot.
You're not gonna be able to get there.
Yes, I am. Just did it. Figured it out. But
See?
no, I didn't.
I told you.
You're right. But hey, you know what? It's hot. It's going to get hotter. We have is this technically a heat wave or just a nice?
It's a mini wave. We're
mini wave?
gonna call it a mini wave because we have a few days that are gonna be 90 and above, so we can call that a wave. And we have some First Alert weather days to talk about as well. So good evening to everyone. I hope that you all are feeling good. I know that it has been a bit of a busy Monday. Wait, what day of the week is this?
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. I apologize. Listen, y'all, my days of the week are messed up. Good evening to everyone that's joining us at home, and good evening to everyone that is in our current stream. Let's get into it. The risk for heat. It's going to increase the next couple of days. It's going to get hotter. That means that folks could get some heat-related illnesses. We do think that this is a low-impact First Alert weather day because we're only going to gain a couple degrees, but the humidity will also increase tomorrow as well. Let me get my shot. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's been a while. If you guys are nightly joining us on this stream, I haven't done it in a while, so I kind of forget my camera settings. There we go. But yes, we have the heat to talk about. Feel free to jump in the comments and ask your questions as we get through the next couple of days. It's warm out there right now, but not terrible. We're talking mid to upper 80s across most of the region. There are some cooler spots in North Georgia mountains, higher elevations, temperatures in the upper 70s in LJ right now. So not feeling terrible in the mountains. We're a little warm and muggy here in the city. Those numbers are going to continue to stay warm through the overnight. I think we fall to 73 here in Atlanta. The suburbs will fall to the upper 60s. And as we head into the day tomorrow, it's going to be a day where it's just hot again. Instead of getting into the low 90s, it's going to be mid to upper 90s, depending on where you are. And that's just looking at the heat, the temperature. Once you factor in the humidity, those feels-like temperatures or the heat index, we'll actually spend the bulk of the afternoon in the upper 90s. I think some folks are going to flirt with feeling like 100. So that's not quite heat advisory criteria, but it's hot. It's humid, and after last week where we ended on a really, really amazing note where the humidity was in check and temperatures were nice, we just want to give you the heads up that it is going to feel noticeably different tomorrow, more muggy. Should be dry tomorrow. As we head into Thursday, we'll see a similar setup, mainly sunny skies, Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s with feels like temperatures near 100. There is about a 20% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm on Thursday. Very isolated, and that's going to be the name of the game heading into the weekend. There's a cold front that approaches but doesn't quite pass through. So some of our communities could see some isolated storms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as it kind of does a dance and eventually will slide through early next week. These are low-end rain chances. I know that it is Labor Day weekend. A lot of y'all are having cookouts in the backyard, maybe hosting a spades game or whatever the case may be. I'm not telling you to cancel that because I guarantee you I'm going to be at the pool and I'm going to be beating somebody in spades in their backyard while I'm eating food that they bought and cooked. So I'll be there. But I'm going to have my first alert weather out with me. Any of these storms fire up, it'll tell me the lightning's 11, 10, 7 miles away, and I will react accordingly. It'll tell me that heavy rain is moving into my area, and I will move the party inside. Don't cancel your plans. It's basically what I am trying to say. Rain chances will increase, though, as we head into Labor Day. This is still several days away, to be completely honest. But what we're seeing with some of the models is that it looks like it's trying to bring that boundary in late Monday night, which means that there could be a whole lot of dry time on Labor Day. This is still 6 days away. So that timing, we never try to nail down timing 6, 7 days out because we know that, the further out we go, the lower resolution the data is, so to speak. So we're gonna fine tune that timeline over the course of the next couple of days. For now, just know that we are expecting a frontal passage sometime Monday into Tuesday, which means that those rain chances will go up a little bit. Right now, it's not first alert weather day worthy, but if the timing shifts in either direction, that could be something that comes, which means you just need to check back in with us over the course of the next few days. Beyond that, it does appear that we're going to be setting up for a nice little cooling trend. Temperature should be at about 88 degrees each afternoon right now, and I do think we'll see those numbers lower as we head into the beginning of September, which is quite nice because I got teased last week with this amazing weather we had, and I want it to come back. I'm not saying I'm ready for hoodies, but I'm definitely ready to not sweat when I step outside. So I know many of you all are with me. So that's something that we're watching as we head into September, but also the peak of hurricane season is September 10th, right? So in theory, the closer you get to the peak, typically the more activity you start to get. We are watching one area that's not even an area of low pressure yet, but we expect an area of low pressure to develop from this cluster of thunderstorms that you see out in the Atlantic. As it moves into that area where you see the yellow circle, the atmosphere is conducive to some slow development. So it's something that we're going to watch. We could see a depression develop over the course of the next week. We'll keep our eyes on it. And, of course, when we know, you will know. I always tell you guys that I'm going to keep you for a good time and not a long time. So I've said my piece. I'm going to throw the 7-day forecast back up so that you all can plan ahead. And remember, of course, the takeaway here is that the rain chances will increase as we head towards the middle, the end of the week and into the beginning of the weekend. But that does not mean cancel your plans because that's not what we do in these streets. We don't just cancel for a 30% chance of anything. We just adjust, right? But, of course, we'll continue to fine-tune this. We got some new data that's coming in now. Going to try to get a better look on this rain on Monday, see if we can see that same trend of this being a late Monday event. And meteorologist Fred Campagna and myself will be telling you what we see tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV and 11 on Atlanta News First. Good evening, Brooke. Shout out to Brooke in the comment section on YouTube. Hopefully you're having a good start to the week. It's Taco Tuesday, so, shrimp tacos, steak tacos, fish tacos, some sort of taco. Shon Gables, can you get us some tacos for lunch? We have. I don't want stuffed peppers. Those are not tacos. If it doesn't have a tortilla on the outside, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Y'all can't hear because she is in the background, but she has basically stuffed bell pepper that she's trying to.
It looks like me and Patrick are back friends now. We can actually do the
We can
plus
do-
together.
we can do the
because
plus
it's a
again.
global audience, and they want us together. Patrick.
They said that this is a global audience.
It's like it's not happening unless we're together. But I'm awfully dark tonight.
I'm trying. You've been hanging out.
I'm living
at
up to my reputation.
You've been hanging out at the tanning bed. That's what they told me.
It's a little spicy over
Yeah.
here. No, but listen, it is hot. It is smoking hot. This is a day where you don't want to eat a lot of heavy foods. You want to, this whole week, go light so you don't feel so burdened on yourself.
Look at me. Look how, see, I just did this. I just
Look.
did this.
The heavens opened and it's
Come
just
on.
all of the angels.
I tried my best. I tried my best.
And then the lighting is good too.
Yeah,
Get
they,
it?
they set that lighting just for you. That's what they told me.
Praise the
Yeah,
Lord.
Praise him. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? So I guess I got the Cliff Notes version I got here is that it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot for a while and dress lightly.
Yeah, Brooke asked a very important question. She asked if it was going to rain on Labor Day. And based off of what we're seeing right now, there is a rain chance.
Oh.
Right now, that rain chance to be after y'all are done eating steak and, whatever.
I got to work.
Well,
I have to work.
I
Is
will
this
be
one of
here
the days
too.
where I'm working and you're not?
Oh, no, I will be here because I've used 2 PTO days all year. And I
I haven't
guarantee
had
you-
many PTO days to use myself.
Well, I know I've used 2. I have plenty to use. I will be here and I will get that comp day.
Well, that's
on Labor
but
Day.
you know what? It's Labor Day is a day to recognize and honor all those who were standing on their shoulders. They put in the work. They've done the labor, and now we're going to continue that. We're going to have it covered. But can the First Alert technology look that far in advance?
Of
to
course it
Labor Day
can. The
weekend?
First Alert technology can look as far as it needs to look.
Oh, well,
Because we
okay.
believe in letting you know what we know
Ahead of time.
when we know it.
Oh,
When we know it, you know.
that is right.
Yeah.
You've been watching the promos,
This is the motto that I live by.
and your motto is.
To be the first to tell you.
I like that, and you are the accuracy.
The accuracy. but
The
being first to
accuracy
tell
from
you,
our
yeah.
First Alert weather team is undefeated. We are Atlanta's most accurate forecast for how many years in a row?
I think it's 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I've only been here almost 2.
And people are like, well, you got the technology that can do it.
Absolutely not. I wish that you guys could come into the Weather Center and hear the spirited debates that we have with each other about the variety of outcomes
Yes.
there could be just for one day. There was 2 models that said that we was going to have storms firing up today. Did you hear us say it?
No way.
Because we
Because
didn't
it is
believe it.
roasting
But high
outside right now.
pressure, a really, really strong high pressure system overhead, you get a whole lot of sinking air.
And I hear you guys always talk about models.
Yeah.
So how many models are you looking at? I mean, how many exist and where do these models come from? Who's making up these forecasts?
So a lot of the models are run by, some of the models are run by institutions, some of them are state ran, in the sense that they're ran by countries, a group of scientists within a country.
Oh, okay.
There's
So which one has been the most accurate that you rely on?
You can never. Everything with weather is conditional. It depends on what type of event you're looking at. One of the models that we typically look at very intently is called the HER. It's called it's the rapid refresh model, right? So it updates every hour, but it only goes out like 12 hours.
But is that technology accumulated from technology like AI and it's just searching
Absolutely
all of these
not.
data
So
points?
it's basically
Or-
it's a series of physics equations.
Oh.
So, and that's why if you ever have a conversation with a meteorologist, most of them have a pretty either solid or strong background in math and physics, because essentially the way the models work, they're predicting future timestamps. So they're applying all of the different observations that we have from airplanes in the sky, from all of the different measurement stations that we have around the world, and they're applying a series of physics equations to calculate moisture, to calculate, there are cloud schemes, different equations, different models use different variations of those equations.
And so do you, as a meteorologist in our First Alert weather team, you take all of these models, all of these data points, and then you have to determine, is that how we get the accuracy? Our meteorologists
Absolutely.
determine, this is based on what we know.
Right, what we know, how the atmosphere reacts to certain things. It's kind of funny, sometimes whenever we're dealing with snowfall events, models will say, we're going to get 6 inches of snow, 8 inches of snow, and then whenever you look at the 850 meter temps, we're above 0, which, and this is technically in Celsius, so we're above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So how is
And that's
it
the
that,
freeze point.
Right.
Okay.
How is it that we are above freezing in the mid levels of the atmosphere, but you're trying to tell me we're going to get snow that's going to be 5 or 6 inches?
That's
not
not-
happening.
it's not
because
physically
it's not
able to
possible.
happen.
The entire column of air has to be below freezing.
So really, a meteorologist, you're a scientist.
Well, duh.
Well, I mean, it speaks. It doesn't even grasp the true depths of
Yeah.
the study that you go into this when you hear someone say, "What does a weatherman have to say?"
Right.
It's almost degrading what you have accomplished as a meteorologist.
It's funny.
It's nice,
Whenever
but
when I go into Kroger and people are like, "Oh, you the weatherman, you just can't get the forecast right." And I'm like, "How often do you watch?"
Because we are the most
It's funny.
accurate.
And you know what? And in theory, it's kind of like everything in life. Any job, any career that you have, you're only as good as your last mistake,
Yes.
right? So people are not. They never recognize the fact that for like the 99 out of the last 100 days, the First Alert Weather Team has gotten the afternoon high temperature within 3 degrees of what it has been forecast to be for 99 out of the last 100 days. And then I think that if you look at the last 250 days, we've only missed it like 4 or 5 times. So it's like, and those have been like, all of them probably have been cold air advection, cold air damming. It's been an easterly breeze that made it all the way to the metro.
And anything in life, when you go to something that's consistent, it always is the same. You can count on it. It's reliable.
Come on.
That is what our forecast, our First Alert Weather Team,
We
being
have fun.
Atlanta's most accurate forecast, means that you can always count on us. We're always reliable. We're always
That's
working.
that's why 7 of us, because we don't get
You don't get a break.
play.
You
We
do
don't
not
play.
get a break.
I'm gonna be real petty right now because she said it in the chat, and I like to address everything everybody says in the chat. My friend Brooke, who's been asking a lot of questions, she said, let me know if y'all need some Brooke Nation hair oil. You better get your product out there, Brooke.
Brooke, are you saying that I'm a little dry? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Brooke, are you trying to tell me
Need a little moisture over here?
my hair ain't it's not doing what it's supposed to do? Yeah, you know, I was outside walking a couple of laps, so it's probably.
And I'm
looking
about to go do mine before we get it, because we have a very busy news day. I covered the headlines at the top of this.
It's a lot that's been happening, and it's crazy because I feel like in the last week, I think that there's been 4 or 5
Officer-involved
officers
shootings,
that have
yes.
been shot, 5 that have been shot at, 4 of them that I believe have been hit. So we're kind of all
And
just
2
grateful.
that have died.
Yeah.
So it's tragic.
Yeah.
It's almost like a public service crisis. That it's concerns about security and safety. These are all things that we're going to tackle tonight on our newscast at Atlanta News First at 11, Peachtree TV at 10, and then, of course, Patrick's favorite, WPGA in Macon. You're turning it up in Macon.
I'm here in Atlanta.
You're in Atlanta, but Macon loves you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody loves you, Patrick.
Look,
You're lovable.
Look, Brooke loves you. She said, listen, it will grow, repair, protect, and all. She said, grow, repair, protect, and nourish your hair all in one product. Okay, you better play. Play with
Even
it.
some parts that may not technically all be mine, but
Ooh,
that's okay.
You said that on the stream?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I keep it real, folks.
Well, I guess in theory they kind of know that because one day you went from a blonde bob.
It happens, folks. It's TV magic. You should try it.
Oh, I love you, Sean.
I love you too. So, hey, we got a lot to cover tonight at Atlanta News First at 11, WPGA Macon, and also Peachtree TV. And then, of course, you did an excellent job with The Dream. They did not beat.
But they came real close.
But they came really
Real
close. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. They'll do it again. But I'm sure you're going to be back out there because you did a great job, Patrick. I'm proud
Oh,
of
you know, I like being in the studio. It was a little hot, but we're going to let that ride. Hey, y'all, this has been fun. Shon Gables has work
what
to
do you
do.
say? Not a long time, but just a short time?
A good
time,
we're gonna keep
not
it
a
for
long
good
time.
not a long time. So we're gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all so much for spending this. What has this been? 23
Tuesday
minutes
night.
with us this Tuesday evening. Have a bite of your taco and think of us. And you know, if you
A veggie
feel it in your
taco.
heart. Hold on. If you feel it in your heart next week on Tuesday to send Patrick and Sean some tacos, you know, they
Veggie
arrive
taco.
in Uber Eats or DoorDash or
You know what?
Grubhub.
If you really want to make Sean happy, a delicious Thai tea. Oh, it's banging. It is. I'm gonna have to get you on the Thai food wagon. Vietnamese food, Thai food is my
Can I go in about your
favorite.
little happy?
A happy space?
Sean started drinking. Was it mushroom water? Mushroom coffee.
Mushroom coffee. Listen, if you want a secret that has nothing to do with news, but since when you come and join us on the Plus, it's a global audience, and we give you everything that
A global
happens
conversation.
behind the scenes
Yes.
at Atlanta News First. And what energizes me, I gave up coffee, and I substituted it for mushroom coffee. So it's mushrooms made into a coffee-like elixir, and it gives me energy. And it's supposed to help you lose weight. So if you see me in about a month or two, you know.
And what was that? What was
It's gonna be skinny.
It was the hydrogen water. That was.
I still do the hydrogen water. The hydrogen water, he thinks it's hocus pocus.
So I can tell you why.
No, it works.
So
You're a
hydrogen-
scientist, you should know.
Hydrogen water, H2O. So if there's more hydrogen in it than the H2O, is it H3O? It's no longer water. It's kind of like oxygen. Oxygen is O2.
All I know is that
add
you put
another
it in your
oxygen to
body
it, is
and you
O3,
drink
which
it
is ozone.
immediately after the hydrogen is infused into the water, and I feel more hydrated, more energized, and it's helping with detoxing.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, listen and live your life. I think that I've hit all of your. I mean, you do the cold pressed juice. I do the cold pressed juice.
Yes.
So I can't kid you with that.
Is it not a game changer?
It's a game changer. It is a game changer.
I mean, you've lost weight, Patrick.
Well, we're not gonna lie to the people on the.
No, we're
on this
gonna
global
tell the
audience.
truth on this global audience.
We're not gonna lie
Patrick
to
is
them.
on a journey. All of us are on a journey
We're on a
of
journey.
living a fit, healthier life.
We're gonna get right.
And he is also, the funniest thing that Patrick said to me yesterday was that I can't help it that you people didn't grow up with seasoning on my food like Louisiana. And that is why he says he's, as his words, I'm just a
Listen,
little puffy.
She's from Oklahoma.
And we had delicious food
What is
too.
Oklahoma known
I grew up
for
on the country.
when it comes to food?
So I
Y'all
would go
grow
out-
the cows that we learned we cook and
I
season.
didn't
up.
even eat a lot of meat growing up. When I grew up, we would go out to the garden, and lunchtime, my mom said, go outside, go eat. And we'd pick tomatoes off the vines, cantaloupes off the vine, watermelons off the vine.
I'm so done.
I used to eat potatoes, just bite into them like an apple. There was apple trees, peach trees, blackberries, honeysuckle, all of this. You joke,
my
but
grandpa
growing
did
up in the
that, so I did
country
that. I
gave me
did
a
that.
great foundation.
My grandpa had a big garden,
Mm-hmm.
and the best part of the day was going back there.
And picking whatever you
Pick up what I
want.
want. Oh, watermelon? Okay, fine. Let's go and slice this up.
And all we do, we take it and
Now
just
I'm
crack it
juicing.
on the ground and just.
Listen, a little bit of salt, you don't know what you're missing.
I used to ride horses. I'd just jump on them bareback and just take off.
Country living.
Yeah.
But back to my original comment.
Oh, what
in
is it?
Louisiana, we got gumbos, we have creoles, we have stews, we have po' boys, we have boudin.
It's in moderation.
I'm just trying to figure out what's the
What
thing
part of it? What
what's-
part of it added to the puffiness?
No, what's the Oklahoma food staple?
Oh, the food staple was you just go to your garden and get whatever you want. It's all
Okay.
healthy.
Okay. So
But I grew up also.
farm-to-table
I'm Native
dish.
American, so we grew up and we'd go to the reservation, and
I did not know that.
yeah, we used to go to powwows. My sisters all danced in them. I never did, but my sisters did. And one of the staples of our meal was Indian tacos. I have to make, so there's Indian fry bread, and everything you put on a taco, you put on top of Indian fry bread, and it is so good.
Shon Gables, I would ask you to cook it so that I could try
Well,
it.
but I didn't pick up the skill. But
I know
I'm
better. When I tell
You know better.
she came in here with some Brussels sprouts.
oh gosh.
I'm not even gonna.
Okay,
I'm gonna save that story for another. I'm not even gonna.
You weren't going to share the story because it would be way too long, and he would take it out of context. There were delicious Brussels sprouts that I made in the air fryer,
Okay.
and I brought them to work. And the story will have to be told another day.
Yes, we're gonna tell it another day because we said a good time, not a long time.
Oh, we've gone a long
And,
time. Look at that skyline, though. It's
it.
getting darker
Gorgeous.
earlier, too.
It
Have you
is,
noticed?
Yeah, that happens.
We're getting closer to the switch.
To fall. I'm looking forward
Daylight,
to it.
fall, when you fall back.
Uh-huh.
I'm not ready for that.
I'm ready for it.
Are you? I
Absolutely.
like moving the clock up.
I don't care about which direction the clock go.
I do.
I'm just needed to be cooler.
I don't even care.
need
I'd rather be hot than
comfortable.
cold.
Go outside and it's like 75, 77, 79.
Well, have you noticed? I mean, so the sun is going down way earlier now.
And you lose like a minute or so a day.
I can tell.
But it's still gorgeous out there. Y'all get outside, live your life. Y'all are exiting the stream, at least from the numbers that I can see on YouTube. So we're going to exit y'all's
Right with
presence.
you.
We'll see y'all in about an hour and a
Bye.
half.